Here with Steve Kyler, BasketballInsiders.com. I'm CineSport's Noah Coslov. Steve, very casual as he settled in for trade deadline day. I went no tie. Can't have anything choke me out on trade deadline day.
Hey, I'm wearing the Canada hat. It was a good thing.
Yeah, well, the Canada hat should have had something covering your ears given how cold it was, but not down in Florida anymore. Let's get into some of the deals. Nothing too crazy. Just before the deadline, the report is Lance Stevenson and a first-round pick from L.A. to Memphis for Jeff Green. What do you like?
Well, they wanted out of Lance Stevenson in the worst way, and this might be the worst way. I get it. The LA Clippers really wanted some help in more of the small forward, power forward spot, especially with Blake Griffin being out. They were using Lance Stevenson at the 4. This is a better fit in terms of ability, and I think we've seen out of Jeff Green that, you know, once every 3 or 4 games, he'll give you something that's impressive. And really, sometimes all the Clippers need is somebody to show up once every 3 or 4 games. So this one's probably a better fit for the Clippers. Not quite sure what the Memphis Grizzlies are doing in this. Again, they did get a first-round pick out of the LA Clippers. They got 4 first-round picks out of the Courtney Lee deal. So to me, it seems like no Marc Gasol, we're going to see what we can get. I'm not sure that Lance Stevenson is in the long term. We'll see, because, again, they did open up kind of a spot with moving out Courtney Lee. Maybe Lance gets his chance in Memphis.
How did some of these other guys, including Lance, or Jeff Green, I should say, Markieff, how do they get first-round picks and Tobias Harris doesn't?
That's a really good question, and I'll answer it this way. One, I think Orlando was far more motivated to make the deal when they made the deal because they had other business they were trying to take care of, trying to move Shabazz Napier, trying to move Andrew Nicholson. They got what they wanted out of the deal, which was ending contracts, and then they moved off a whole bunch of money from Tobias Harris. You know, keep in mind he was owed more than $16 million this year, more than $17 next year, $16 the following year, where even if you take Markieff Morris, you know, he wasn't owed what Tobias is owed over the next 2 years. So hard to move money in the NBA and extract value, but I also think this was about Orlando seeing what they wanted and saying, yep, good enough.
Any deal, as we wrap this up, any deal today do you think really makes that big of a difference in the playoff picture, or maybe it was the deal that didn't happen?
Well, I was really surprised Toronto didn't make a deal because there were some things they could have done. Not quite sure what Washington did with Markieff Morris. Surprised that Houston wasn't able to move kind of one of their big guys, whether it was Ty Lawson or Dwight Howard. I really thought at the deadline we were going to see Daryl Morey blink and find a way to get Dwight Howard off the roster. That's the one I think was the biggest surprise.
All right, I just can't wait to watch Lance and Matt Barnes and Zach Randolph and Birdman all on the floor together. Tony Allen. Can't wait. Can't wait.
That is a mug squad if we've ever seen it. That would be the most physical basketball in the NBA.
I never thought I'd say Grizzlies must watch on League Pass. Steve Kyler, Basketball Insiders. Good talking to you. Thanks, Steve.